Please start the session. You can start now.
Hello. So, good morning, all. So, uh, topic allotted to me was electricity supply through batteries and accumulators. So I've just tried to compile some few issues in and around batteries. So, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
So, first, we'll see some meaning of some few regularly used terms. Cell, batteries, and accumulators. So, basically, I just tried to. This is a technical definition. Just for understanding of what it means in the industry, cell is just a single unit. Battery is just a combination of cells which is used, and the primary distinction which is used in industry is the types of battery, that is what you call as primary battery and what you call secondary battery. Um, it's not we'll just see in the subsequent slide what is the difference, but basically primary battery is used to denote batteries which are non-rechargeable, the small AA, AAA size batteries. Secondary batteries mostly are rechargeable ones, which are larger in size, and it can supply power for a longer duration. Cell is usually it's for a very short duration, and it's kind of use and throw types. But common parlance, both of these are used interchangeably. So before understanding GST in battery, first we need to understand what is the difference between a primary cell and a secondary cell. Also, a primary battery versus a secondary battery. Primary battery in trade parlance, it is basically non-rechargeable. Secondary is basically rechargeable ones. It is not actually based on size or anything, but it is mostly used interchangeably. Secondary cell is what is also called as accumulators sometimes. So with this is the basic understanding of what is a battery, what is a cell, and what is an accumulator. GST rates and HSN codes I've just tried to compile. Primary cells and primary batteries, basically non-rechargeable ones, are under 8506, charged at 18%. Other secondary batteries can be classified in two. One is lithium-ion batteries and other batteries. Lithium-ion batteries or accumulators are classified under 8507, which is also 18%. But other than lithium-ion, every other battery or accumulator is charged at 28%. And waste or scrap of batteries falls under 8548 and 8549 and charged at 18%. So this is just a reference that electricity is classified as goods. I think this case law is already discussed. Madhya Pradesh Electricity Board, and is also affirmed by the Constitution Bench of Supreme Court. Now for starting to focus on issues in batteries, there were three uh, important circular clarifications obtained given. So we'll go through just one by one. So first issue. So first issue is with respect to whether a UPS system or an inverter, which is generally sold along with a battery. When we in normal trade parlance, when we call as what we call as UPS is UPS plus a battery attached along with it. So whether that has to be classified as a composite supply or which under what HSN which it falls under. With respect to this question, CBIC has issued a circular in 163, wherein following clarification was given. The basic question was whether it is classified under heading 8507 and charged at 28%, or it is 8504 and charged at 18%. Now, the clarification given by the circular was, even if both are sold in the same invoice and no separate price breakup is given, it is commonly understood that both are separate identifiable items. Both are a principal supply or an individual supply on their own, and the both will be charged at individual separate rates, where UPS will be classified under 8504 at 18%, and external batteries will be classified under 8507 at 28%, except lithium ion, which is basically 18%. Now, in connection with this issue, there was earlier an advanced ruling authority by in switching about Electro Power Limited, West Bengal. It says that it brought out a key difference other than the circular clarification. This circular does not distinguish between an internal battery and an external battery. It simply puts that battery and inverter are two distinct items and will be charged at separate rates. Whereas this advanced ruling authority brought out a further subtle distinction, saying that when the battery is inbuilt into the UPS, the recipient who comes in purchase of an inverter is basically coming to purchase the inverter base. So inverter, and since it is an inbuilt battery, it will form a composite supply. It cannot be sold separately. So an inbuilt, if the battery is inbuilt into the inverter, it is a composite supply and classified under 8504 in total, which is 18%. Whereas if the inverter is separate and a battery is separate, but they are generally coupled and sold together, still then it will not be considered as a composite supply or a naturally bundled supply. It will be a mixed supply. This distinction is not there in the circular. It is brought out only in the AAR. So anything to add on this, sir?
Nothing. Please go ahead.
So while discussing with issue 1, there is some subtle difference between internal batteries and external batteries. Just expanding on the same issue, how will internal batteries what is the distinction basically between internal batteries and external batteries? Whether internal batteries satisfy the essential ingredients of a composite supply, which is what was the AAR talked about. So just analyzing that, it consists of 2 or more taxable supplies. Yes. The supplies may be goods or service. Yes. Goods or services shall be naturally bundled. So whether to in order to identify whether the goods are naturally bundled, from following indicators would be, the primary indicator would be the perception of the recipient. That is, when a buyer or a customer comes and purchases, what is the basic thing which he is looking for, whether he is looking for an inverter or whether he is looking for a battery. Second is common practice in industry, wherein it is not naturally sold together, single price, usually a single price is charged in total. The breakup is not generally given other than in the invoice, but still it is generally seen put together. Where, however, single price is not a mandatory condition for a composite supply. Even if the items are charged separately, still it can be a composite supply. It is advertised as a single package. Different elements are not available separately. General common practice. So, since from recipient's point of view, it is he's basically coming in for the inverter. So it will be a composite supply, and the principal supply will be inverter. So to identify principal supply, it will be test of predominance. Predominant test is basically the inverter is what for the buyer is coming for.
See, Raghavendra,
Sir,
this test of predominance is not a accepted test in GST for composite supply. It is a test in the context of works contract tax under the earlier law and service tax. Test of predominance, dominant object, then dominant intention, all this in each case that we see under the earlier tax regime, courts have been regularly vacillating. Once it is this, then they move there, then they come back here. So we cannot quote this test of predominance as a authoritative and binding final viewpoint on this. Secondly, when we say inbuilt batteries, we have to be very sure what makes a battery an inbuilt battery. Now there are mobile phones where the battery cannot be removed and replaced. So inbuilt does not mean it is manufactured with the battery. It is not separately replaceable. Now we take example of a car. Can we say a car has an inbuilt battery? If you lift the bonnet, you can see the battery there. You can replace the battery. So when they invoice for a car, can they separately invoice for battery and car? Good thing the car is taxable at 28%. Therefore, we are not having this issue. But to what extent can we keep on separating the battery from the main product? Even as per the circular, the parallel that we have to draw is car and petrol. Without a petrol, car cannot function. But a car is not complete as a car only with petrol. Without petrol also, the car is complete car. But can we say make the same distinction for a UPS? A UPS, what does a UPS do? A UPS switches from stored power to mainline power and vice versa whenever the mainline power is interrupted. But if you see, can we say what does the customer think he is buying? Does the customer think he is buying a battery which will recharge itself? Or is he buying a switch that goes from mainline power to stored power? The test to be applied if we take central excise says it is not the opinion of a consumer that matters. It is the opinion of a manufacturer matters. What does the manufacturer think the product is? Is the UPS a UPS without the battery?
No, sir.
The manufacturer. You have to examine what a manufacturer thinks. Now, if a manufacturer, now if let us say, as a customer goes to a UPS manufacturer and says, "Sir, I want a UPS with 1 hour battery backup." Another customer goes and says, "I want a UPS with 8 hours battery backup." Will he give two different UPS? He will give same UPS with two different battery sizes. Now are you able to see what the manufacturer is selling? He is selling a seamless switch to go from mainline power to stored power. The switch not only has power to take out power, but it also has the capacity to send in power once the battery is drained so that it gets recharged. When we use words like UPS, accumulator, or converter as it's called, what are we referring to? We are referring to the power storage capacity, or are we referring to the power switching, that is the power source switching capability of this equipment? If we apply that, then we don't need to go in for this dominance test. We have to go with what the circular is trying to say. Just because it is sold for a single price does not make it composite. Just because customer always wants both of these articles does not make it a composite supply. They can both be independent supply. Now we take a parallel. In an apartment, there is what is called a preferential location charge: park facing, highway facing, garden facing, swimming pool facing. Previously, listed companies were paying tax on PLC separately, but not as an apartment. But now board has issued a circular to say that no, it is one and the same. So therefore, we will need to identify the basis on which we will come to the junction whether to apply composite supply, mixed supply, independent supply test. Every time two or more things are found present, we cannot say it is composite, mixed, or independent unless we find out whether the two are necessary to establish the very identity of the article that we are talking about. If the UPS accumulator or converter has if it has the, or inverter as it's called, sorry, not converter, if it has the identity of a UPS accumulator or inverter without the battery, then the two have to be identified tagged separately. But if the identity itself comes when the two, the switch and the power source are kept together, then it cannot be separated as composite, mixed, or independent.
Sir, one more point, sir. Sir, can we look the test of parts of that goods and accessories of that goods, sir? Something, can we look that test also, sir, along with this test of goods sold along with this main goods, sir? Should we look into that, sir? Like, hello?
So, now, are we saying that whether battery is a part of a UPS?
Yeah, should we look that test also, sir? Is it an accessory to that or is it a part of that? Can we look that test also, sir, along with this other test what we are discussing? That will help us to decide, sir, to rate of tax, like if it is a part of that, like car example you were giving.
Correct. So
And-
now definitely we can examine those tests to come to conclusion whether such tests should be applied or not, because a part is what completes the article as far as its identity is concerned. Without that, it will be an incomplete article. If you take that approach, then UPS, can we say, is incomplete without a battery? The identity of UPS will come into existence only with the battery? No, because a UPS does the job of as an inverter to switch source of power only. If suppose somebody has no battery but connected directly to a DG set, that can also be a source of power. A UPS can be connected to a solar panel system. So there are many alternatives. So whether it is a part, it can't be an accessory because accessory only enhances the comfort of the user and not alter the functionality of the article. So therefore they may both stand independently, neither a part nor a accessory, but independent of it, because a UPS is nothing but a switch, whereas battery is the source from where it will do the switching.
Okay.
So Ravindra, in the issue number 2, be cautious. This predominant test is not reliable to be used in this context.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Sir, and one more thing. Sir, when you talked about inbuilt batteries, you said inbuilt batteries is understood as that which is not replaceable from the part, a cell phone or a battery, whatever it may be. So, whether UPS which comes with an inbuilt battery which cannot be sold separately, which cannot be replaced, in that case it will be a composite supply, sir?
No. If it is it is not composite. It is a product on its own. Composite is what? TV and transportation charges. This is not composite. This is single supply. Now you have to decide whether it is a battery with switching capability at 28% or is it a switch with the stored power. Imagine, see, when you say something is inbuilt, you have seen those mobile phones where the back cover itself is the battery. You cannot get a new back cover. But if you take a car, the car has an inbuilt battery. But the battery, if you remove the bonnet, you can actually detach the battery from the rest of the car. So when you say inbuilt, we have to examine whether it is artificially fused with the casing, or is it essentially merged with the casing?
Okay.
So you have to be careful. See, many times, the way a question is asked, that question itself contains some assumptions to influence the outcome of that deliberation. We have to be careful not to commence with an assumption. The word inbuilt battery itself needs to be first questioned before accepting the concept of an inbuilt battery. It may be supplied together. The color of the UPS and the color of the battery body may be the same so that it matches. None of these things are relevant to say it is inbuilt. Inbuilt is where a part of the body of the UPS itself contains the battery. See, there are certain inherent limitations with battery because if it is a lead acid battery, there are electrodes suspended in a solution which will act as that electrolyte to move all the ions. It has to be separate because it can leak. But dry cell batteries are, on the other hand, different. Therefore, you may have to necessarily go into what technology is used to see if there is some natural redundancies that will not allow us to treat them as inbuilt.
Okay, sir.
So the second issue, you please just examine once and then we'll proceed.
Yes. Okay. So this is with second issue. If it is okay, I'll move on to the next one, sir.
Please.
Okay. This is a new upcoming issue number 3. What is called as battery energy storage system. There is basically a difference between what is a battery and a battery energy storage system. We'll come to that. Generally, it is defined as a BESS is a type of an energy storage system. See, energy storage systems can be variety. It can be a mechanical energy storage system like a dam. It can be chemical storage system like a normal battery. It can be electrochemical. It can be uh, um, electrical. There are many varieties of storage systems. BESS is a unique type of energy storage system which uses batteries to store and distribute energy in the form of electricity. It is now commonly used in electricity grids and other applications like EV vehicles, solar power installations, and smart homes. Now, what is the difference between a battery and a BESS? See, a battery is just one single component where it is part of an electrochemical energy storage system. It converts stored chemical energy into electrical energy, that is DC to AC. It converts. But BESS is a bit modified version or an upgraded version of a battery, you may say. They have a battery management system that monitors safety and charging power of the system and is designed to avoid fires and similar risk. See, the main key point is a BESS comprises not only of a battery, it also contains an inverter, a transformer. Inverter is used to convert DC to AC or AC to DC. Transformer is used to increase or decrease the voltage, and other auxiliary safety systems. Now, all these systems, all these components are inbuilt into one single casing. That is when it is called as a BESS. It supports renewable energy, that is, it stores the electrical energy produced from renewable sources, solar, wind, etc., and it supplies back to the grid when it is required by the grid and the resources are not easily available. That is what is the fifth point, which is enabling peak shaving and load shifting. Peak shaving and load shifting basically means it balances the voltage differences, requirement differences, demand supply mismatches. It supplies back to the grid and balances it out, and that supports grid stability. So this is just to get an understanding of what is a battery energy storage system. Now, sir, yes, sir.
This BESS, is it something real or chumma? Somebody's come out with a name like this. Because all what you explained is battery only.
Yes, sir.
Peak
Basically, it is
shaving,
battery.
load shifting. I'll give you an example. You have heard of steamed rice cakes with coconut sauce? You have heard of this? What this food item is? Steamed rice cakes with coconut sauce.
No, sir.
It is idli and chutney. Okay. So be very careful when someone is giving a glamorous name to some article. Find out whether really it is something substantially different from this article or this is only chumma. What is this best steamed rice cake? Idli. We have to test it.
Yes, sir.
So with great skepticism, I'm going to listen next slide. Go on, please explain yourself. Next slide.
In fact, this issue cropped up in a recent Delhi High Court, where there was a bid which was happening regarding a bid issue. A requirement of GST treatment of BESS was necessary to determine the bid amount. So that was giving a variation of almost 10 to 20%. So before bidding, the petitioner filed a suit asking CBIC to clarify the GST applicability on BESS. but High Court dismissed this petition, saying that CBIC is not required to clarify specific issues raised by the taxpayers. It can only issue a circular under note 168 only when to clarify when it is a common industry issue. So this was the background in which BESS came up. I'm just sharing my understanding of BESS, sir.
No, your understanding only. But you are the presenter, so everybody's questions will be directed to you. You can't run away from it. Continue.
Yes, sir. So, like what you shared, similar view also I also have. Though BESS, you say it as it is a separate. Technically, it is given a very distinction or definition of it. It is basically different components: inverters, transformers, batteries, all put together in just one casing. So, but it is the primary identity of it is battery. So when you say BESS, which is already used in electric vehicles, basically what the understanding is, I am purchasing a battery. So a BESS, in my understanding, would be a composite supply where the principal supply is the supply of the battery. So it will be classified as battery to my understanding. But it is an open issue. There is so far no any clear clarification on this point. Sir,
But what your answer? I don't know what this is, but your answer?
My answer, it is battery, sir. It is a composite supply. Basically, it will be treated as battery only.
Steam rice cake ಇದೆ? Huh?
Yes.
Basically idli.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know about this. Or I will proceed.
Okay. And the last issue, which is another recent issue which came up for another recent model which is coming up is battery as a service. Recently, 2 months back, MG, which is having an EV vehicle, announced a model where battery is given for a rental. Instead of purchasing the battery at one shot, you purchase batteries. There are what happened is MG went tied up with 4 different financiers, and each one gave their own scheme of battery as a service. One with 1,500 kilometers, same charges for 1,500 kilometers. Another one, if it crosses, it will be a different charge. Another one, fixed charge no matter what, on actual running basis and all that. So what is battery as a service is, you don't purchase battery from the automobile industry. You pay upfront. You pay only for the vehicle, and you pay on a rent. You pay on a monthly basis or some frequent basis. You pay rental for the battery at a particular charge. And there are various schemes which is announced. Whatever scheme you can choose. So, but key point is, how will this be classified? Battery is classified as goods, which is right now charged at 5%. But battery as a service model will be a service. But HSN, what will be the HSN, and whether it will be classified as rent or whether it will be classified as a different item, It's still an open-ended question. Sir,
What is your view? What is your view?
sir, it is a service. HSN, I'm not able to. I'm yet to identify, sir.
Anyone else with views about this battery as a service?
Sir, will it depend upon the type of battery which is given as a service? Can we take the rate of taxes?
So
And
you're
what is,
you're admitting it's a service.
if we are talking in HSN rate, no, sir, or
Correct. No, HSN only.
yeah.
No, so I didn't understand. What's the answer, madam?
No, what he has come out with this model, no, sir, when the batteries are given on rent actually, and he's stating a service. So, what should be the rate of tax? That was the issue, no, sir.
Correct. What is your view about this?
As a service model, you're asking on. We are discussing on this model, no, sir, whether it can be treated as service or goods. That is the issue. So when it is given on rental, the issue is, I think, when he is given on rental, what should be the rate? So when it is given on rental, can we take it as a service, sir?
Correct.
Jatin sir, in this case type of arrangement, isn't it only a financial arrangement or a financing arrangement, but the primary supply of the goods would have already been passed on to the buyer?
Sir, you see the facts in such a case, maybe Raghavendra can correct me if it's different. You buy the electric car. You pay money, you buy the car, RTO will register it also in your name. After you have purchased it, every month you pay 3,000 rupees for the power consumption. You go to a nearby station and you do battery switching. You switch the battery. You just
Raghavendra, can you
Yes,
just
sir.
in
check the
Kaveri
model?
Theatre, in
Sir.
Kaveri Theatre, there is one battery bank, they call it, where there are number of charged batteries kept. You just go there, remove the battery in your vehicle, leave it there. There is one more battery that is showing green color. It is fully charged. You just remove that and fit it into your vehicle and proceed.
Jatin sir, my understanding of the transaction is different. Raghavendra, correct me. Basically, this particular financing scheme was brought in earlier by this our Reva here in Bangalore.
Correct.
Where the cost of the car was coming more or less near to the car of other cars. So they wanted to promote this car. So they came out, don't pay upright. Okay, you just pay a thing. There's a financing company. So they said it's a battery. I mean, basically they artificially said that you will not pay for the battery. You will pay only rental for the battery. That was a concept. I think I remember. Whether we are talking about the same model or different model, I think Raghavendra, you can just clarify.
Sir, yes, sir. I think what you're, I'm also the same understanding. The battery, Jatin sir, what mentioned is different from battery as a service, which I understand. Sir said you go to a battery point and you replace your batteries. That is when you are already owner of the battery, but you're just replacing the battery on a regular basis. Whereas battery as a service model operates like they fit a mechanism in the car wherein they will keep track of how much kilometers you're running, and they will charge on a per kilometer basis. 3.5, 5.8, different models by different financiers. Whereas the property of the battery does not shift to the buyer. Property is still with the company. If at all you don't pay the rent, the company can come and they can retrieve the car back.
Okay, I just explain a little more.
Yes, sir.
In Reva, what happened was, you buy the car for 5 lakhs because battery costs 2 lakh rupees. You don't pay for the battery when you buy the car. And when you need, and every month you pay 3,000 rupees for usage of the battery. Now, the battery belongs to the company, although it is in the car owner's control. But the battery in the Reva car has a SIM card, which the company can monitor and switch off if you don't pay the money. The basic idea is to find a way to bring, like Rajesh rightly said, to bring the price of the car from 7 lakhs to 5 lakhs. How to make it less expensive so that they're able to sell more at the point of purchase. That decision should not be very expensive to make. But in a battery switching option, like a two-wheeler, you buy the scooter with the battery, you just go somewhere because you don't care whether it is your battery or somebody else's battery. Every time you must have a battery. So you go there and you switch out your battery, the storage, the charging per cost which you should incur at home and spend 2 hours for charging. You can spend only 2 minutes where you will go remove this and replace it with what is already available in that battery bank. So when you look at the second battery that you take from the battery bank, the ultimate character of sale of goods is that the goods must be ascertained goods. If it is unascertained goods, then it is not sale of goods. So therefore, when you buy a scooter under the battery switching option, you are giving away your own battery because all batteries will also have a serial number. You are giving away your battery. Can you say it is a barter with a monetary consideration extra because you are giving your battery, you are getting back an identical battery but with charge? These are all the questions that need to be gone into. We can't say service or goods and conclude as it is. We have to break up the various scenarios and come to conclusion. That's the next question. We know what comes up. Is it a case of sale of power? That is what all these battery switching people are fighting. Government is not agreeing to accept that it is sale of power. It is not sale of power is what they are saying.
Sir, is it not this finance people, are they not wrongly marketing it as a rental? Because it's actually not rental, right? It's only a hire purchase model or that finance model which they are
No, but
using.
if
So,
they do that, they will become NBFC and they are not permitted to do NBFC business, etc. And then it will end up with other implications. So nobody is saying, nobody wants to accept it is a NBFC.
okay. Though this is a swapping model, but wrongly, I think we are presuming as a rental. It's
You are right.
actually it's not a rental, actually. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Sir, in this particular model, when we are looking at, actually the Bajaj Finance is the company which is doing this particular activity and not the company as such is what I am of the understanding. When
In which
this
case,
sort of, now in whatever this battery battery rental model, sir, battery rental model, which is being given in couple of cars and cars now, which is being given, sir. So it is, this service is actually given by so the entire thing is being sold by the company to Bajaj Finance, or it will be sold to us. And this whatever model of collecting the rental charges is by the financing company and not by the car manufacturer, is what I am of the opinion. I don't know the actual how it runs. So this will it have any impact on the decision making, sir?
I think definitely you're right. It will have, because it will, as far as the car maker is concerned, they have sold the car.
Yeah.
Once the car is sold, the owner of the car can do whatever arrangement he wants to have, even if that arrangement is through a financing company, and even if that arrangement is sort of facilitated by the car company.
Correct, sir.
So even if it is facilitated, it will still be an arrangement. So you'll have to go into Raghavendra, you have to cover all these use cases.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Hmm.
I think you can
Sir,
proceed further.
no, one
Okay.
more point.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Sir, if we are saying now, the electric cars, the battery itself is separate and which is can be sold. There are people who are selling battery and car companies are only selling car. Will this now not distinguish, going back to that first circular where there is an artificial bundling of UPS and batteries? This would be into, isn't it this a similar category of issues that we will be venturing into now?
Correct. You're right. You're right, sir.
And this also, the similar point also could come in the solar power companies, or when I have installed a solar and I have installed a battery also. So there is a reverse meter, and based on which the number of units are getting generated, and so there also there could be a issue, no, sir? Similarly on this point. So when I buy a battery and I use it, and if there is something similar concept comes up there also, that there is a battery, but as of now we are considering that as a power because it's going back to the power grid as such, and that becomes exempted. As of now, I think there is no tax on that particular thing, no, sir?
Correct.
So assuming that it becomes taxable at a later point of time, this particular power, whatever is generated, so what could be the analysis of the credits is one aspect which we can think of. Oh, anyway, that is out of the topic, sir. Out of topic.
But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Raghavendra, I
Yes, sir.
hope you're marking out the issues that you want to address.
Yes, sir. So I'll check and get back with those issues, sir.
All right.
So going for two more circular clarifications. There is a circular 179 which clarified that the rate of GST issue was what is the rate of GST on electrically operated vehicle without the battery fitted in it. So the circular clarified that electrically operated vehicle means a vehicle which runs solely on electrical energy derived from an external source or from on one or more electrical batteries fitted to such road vehicles and shall include e-bicycles. So basically definition says even it is from an external source. So even if it is not fitted with the battery, it is still an electrically operated vehicle. And so batteries is not considered as a component or a key component of an electricity operated vehicle. So though if it is even if battery is not fitted, it is still classified as a classified as EV, which falling under 8703, taxable at 5%. So this is just a clarificatory point. And last issue is just a connected issue wherein battery operated car was exempted by operated by railways. Indian Railways is exempted, which is the latest amendment. So this is all the points which I have, sir.
Can you just go to previous one?
Any other points to add, sir?
Okay, this is only service.
Yes, sir.
Jatin sir, in the battery switching stations where my own battery is taken and it is switched with another battery. So there, the actual sale is not a battery; it is the sale of the energy. Because the battery is there. Just that my battery number is switched with some other battery number. So physically that changed. So it would still be supply of goods and not supply of service. Even if I say it is not a sale of stored energy, it cannot be a supply of service. No, so then it is not a battery charging service.
So now let's see what happens. In business, when I get a customer who will buy a electric car, under this scheme, I know that forever I'm going to get recurring revenue from him towards this battery. What
Right.
car companies will do is they don't use Amaron battery. They will make everything from Amaron, but the outer casing will be designed to fit only their car and no other car. If you see Maruti headlight and Hyundai headlight, both are
Correct.
headlight only. What is difference? But you cannot change, you cannot fit a Maruti headlight to Hyundai car.
Correct.
So they will make something, some redundancy, making it irreplaceable. Now, when I'm selling the car, there is one original battery. But the cost of a battery is 100 rupees when the selling price is 2000 rupees. Now we have to find out from the records whether the first battery is included in the car or the power charges in the first battery only is included in the car. We'll know this from the invoice description. We'll know this from the agreement between manufacturer and dealer, and we will know this from the RTO records. This is called bait and hook pricing. They give a very low price on the vehicle. So now they have given a bait. Now the customer is hooked. Every time he needs to use the vehicle, he has to go for battery charging. He creates a monthly revenue. How much do we normally spend on petrol per car per month?
3,000.
Maybe 3,000 rupees. Now, if you say a car is used, electric car can be, normal car can be used for 15 years. Electric car can be used for 7 years. 7 years into 12 into 3,000 rupees revenue model is created. So therefore, the very first battery may not be transferred. Now you imagine a car without a battery is sold with a recurring model. Now we have to examine whether the customer is interested in owning the battery or he's indifferent to owning the battery.
Right.
Normally, if you say a battery without battery which I cannot replace with Exide or Amaron, and if I am only interested in a full charge in the battery, customer is indifferent to ownership of the battery, but is particular about the ownership of the car, then naturally it has to become a service. Nobody who does not have a IPP license can sell power. If you cannot sell power and you are providing charged battery, you are transferring, you're not transferring possession also, you're only transferring custody. So then this finance lease operating this question itself may not arise. And when it is not goods, it will end up becoming a service.
But if the battery is not specific model, assuming like this,
General purpose.
this is like when I'm selling in the hospital machine with reagents concept type. So
Correct,
that
correct.
is a thing. But if I make a general purpose battery, it can be charged at home or it can be replaced. I actually don't know much about in this.
No. So it will not work that way, because what happens, Hero Motors has one electric model, scooter model. Let us say
Right.
Hero sells a lot of scooters,
Huh.
and Honda is selling lot of battery charging. Then customers are switching. That's why if you see in LPG cylinder, Indian Oil LPG cylinder and ELF Total Oil, both are LPG only. But if you see that copper valve or the shape of the cylinder, slightly different it is, so that there cannot be any recycling.
Correct. Yeah.
Indian Oil cylinder getting refilled in Shell storage bottling plant or Total bottling plant.
Right.
So therefore, they will create these redundancies to preserve, to maintain their customer. To get a customer, they have spent so much money on Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, everybody. Now, if that fellow, after buying car, if he goes, because other side, Katrina Kaif is giving modeling for Activa, it will be a problem.
Correct. Got it.
So,
Got that, sir.
Raghavendra, if you can identify the use cases,
Yes, sir.
Rajesh gave 2-3 good examples. In those
Yes.
cases, what will happen? Then the point that Chandrasekhar made, those cases. Then Venu's points. If you list out those cases, maybe there are finally only 4 broad categories for tax treatment, but there could be 20 practical categories.
Yes, sir.
And then that point which you made, which is very valid, what if a finance company puts his hand in between this mix?
Hmm.
Then what happens?
Yes, sir. I will list it out and I'll get back with the use cases, sir.
Super.
So,
Jatin sir, that recent advance ruling had come on that activity of that charging batteries at public stations. So yeah, so there they are just trying to bring out that it's a service and taking it as a color of service and saying that it is liable at 18%.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah, sir. So is it like something, any other thought we can take it, sir, from here? Because it's only, yeah, yes.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Only my point was because we're discussing on batteries and this supply of batteries. So, and it's giving us some service kind of thing where you can charge your batteries at that stations. So something can we look into this test also, sir, to take it as a service, sir? Because
No, definitely that point we have to consider, because it's very important to know. See, this brings out the very important point. What you can do legally only, you can consider for tax treatment purpose. What you cannot do legally, even if you are doing it, it cannot be treated as for tax purpose.
yeah. So like this REVA model, what we were discussing. So
Exactly
yeah,
correct.
something that way we can try to differentiate. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Any other point from anyone? Okay. So today we only have one session, sir. So the 2 other speakers not there. So we will conclude for today, sir.
All right, sir.
Yeah. Anything you want to tell us before the tribunal is coming, or we will see later?
Yeah, I think we should maybe we can have a discussion offline also if required. But something we need to do about the tribunal practice, because I think state some of the members who are applying are very poorly informed about GST law and very much in favor of revenue. So and if judicial members are from district court, they may understand law, they may not understand GST. So therefore, every case may take like our Tuesday morning sessions, it may require detailed explanation. So maybe for just to share experiences, we should have some session because some new examples are coming out. I saw in this case of, I think VKC footsteps matter, where in Supreme Court, one of the advocates gave a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh,
He is not only doing verbal arguments, submitting documents, taking the court through various notifications. The advocate submitted a PowerPoint presentation to Supreme Court. Whether that is effective or not effective is a different matter. Therefore, it brings us to the point: how should we present a case to tribunal to people who are knowledgeable about law but may not be knowledgeable about GST? There are many in our own study group. There are many who have a lot of first-hand experience. We should, more than a teaching session, we should sort of do, I don't know, discussion, practical experiences, and come out with the do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts, I think, may be very helpful, so we can share notes with each other. But definitely, it can happen very soon, is what people are saying. But although I think it will take 6 months.
Jatin sir, just wanted to give one update. Through FKCCI, we had met Commissioner, I think, before her transfer orders had come. Okay. For some other representation. At that time, we mentioned about this Testat being at Kalasipalya. So she was a little furious about it because she had initiated the entire process. She said, she asked, have you gone and seen there how the premises is and where the entrance is and how it is done? It is not what you people are thinking. There's a separate entrance for it, not in the regular bus stand entrance. And the area, which is, I think, 40,000 square feet, myself and Chandrasekhar also there, is acquired. Around 150 car parking facility is there. So with a lot of things we had planned, but because of the representation, now it is altered. And a team from center is going to come and verify and go ahead with, so that has delayed the process of tribunal constitution. So thought I'll just update for your information on that. And this, in fact, she said we can arrange for a visit of you all to the place. I'll tell the additional commissioner to do so if you want. Meanwhile, transfer orders came. I think so. I have updated. This was representation was made by the Indirect Tax Practitioners Association through Nagraj, myself, and all. So if required, I think probably once we can go there and see, and then also push something to get. If it is okay, then to ask to go ahead, and otherwise the process may get delayed of the constitution of the tribunal.
Correct.
Okay, so that is the thing. And also about this, probably I think 1 or 2 physical meetings, if we can have it, okay, whichever the place, for this tribunal thing. I think it would be better is what I feel, if it is okay.
Sure, definitely.
When we can discuss with Jatin sir, and then we can see how to arrange for that. Okay. Yeah. I think where we all are there, we can invite also a couple of seniors also, if so required, to give their experiences. Okay. Because it makes very much important for the members like us and junior members. They may know the law, but how to present going there, it makes a lot of difference. In fact, Jatin sir, what mentioned about PowerPoint presentation. See, few members in the tribunal presently, they don't want to hear the case unless the synopsis of the case is presented to them. So again, there is a different styles of preparing synopsis. Somebody prepares within 1 page or 2 pages. Somebody writes 8 to 9 pages, because they are that if you only give that, they may not put all those arguments will not come in the order. If I give it in a word format, they'll just copy paste our arguments into the order. they can't extract, the members are not capable of extracting the facts and our arguments correctly from the various submissions which they will only hear, they will not make notes. So I mean, different approaches are there. Probably we can discuss different things, and members can, I mean, all of us can choose which suits better as per their consider. We can use suggestions. This is what I think so.
Correct.
Okay, right.
Right, sir. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank
we'll
you.
meet in the next session. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.